Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And I'm here today with Annabrooke Temple, who's Director of Professional Development at Hastings and a good friend of mine. And we've actually done a number of videos in the past about how to help law students. This video, actually, the purpose is to focus on founders. What type of lawyer should this founder have? What is the background that you need to have, right? And I started out as an employment lawyer, but that's not what I am today. These founders really need expertise in a number of areas. I can think of 4 that I typically see. The first, and I'm only 3 of the 4. So the first is a background in corporate law. They need to have an understanding of what a Series A or a Series B company is, what those corporate documents are, what those stock plans and the stock documents are and what they say. That's the first thing. Second is executive comp, which is an area, a separate area of the law that has to do more on the benefits side and dealing with equity and stock and so forth. And then the third one is employment law, not employment litigation, but employment law dealing with issues like what does cause mean? What is litigated successfully in terms of cause or good reason, in terms of making those provisions strong? What should be fought for or not? Is my client being discriminated against, which happens even to founders and CEOs? I represent a lot of female founders, and you would be shocked at the level of treatment that some of these women are dealing with, even though they are the boss. So those are 3 areas of expertise. I know enough about corporate law from my background as a GC and regularly representing startups as well, but I'm not a corporate expert. So sometimes I even bring in a corporate expert for really difficult issues relating to equity. And then I also bring in a tax expert frequently, somebody who really knows the Internal Revenue Code and all the nuances of equity and issues on tax relating to equity that I don't have an expertise in, but again, know enough to be dangerous. So I'm kind of serving, and I talk about this a lot with Nancy in my interviews with her, as a personal general counsel. And that's what a general counsel of a company does. I mean, you know, when I was GC of my last company, I didn't know all of the nuances of Portuguese or Chinese or French law, but I had to know how to get that answer, right? If for example, those issues came up. So same thing, that's what I'm doing for these clients. But the lawyer does need to have a strong, fluid working ability in all of those areas, right, in order to service the client. And that's why oftentimes I think clients are underserved when they see that they're going through an employment negotiation and they look at who their friend's company is using for employment litigation and they go with that person. And that person has no idea about the 3 other areas that I've talked about. So you need to be careful in terms of finding a lawyer that really does do this, and the way you do is you interview them and you ask them specifically, do you regularly represent clients like me, clients that have a large percentage of a venture-backed company, clients that have gone through a liquidity event, clients that have negotiated with sophisticated boards and venture capitalists, because oftentimes in the early days, those are the ones, the VCs are the ones who are directing those negotiations because they want to bring in a great CEO.